Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you're able to stick to your budget, manage to pay off your debt, and begin to save so that you can build wealth on your path to building wealth. I'm sorry about that. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how you can not only pay off your student loans, and in some cases, you could probably pay it off faster, but the more important thing is how you can pay off over six figures, $100,000, $200,000 worth of student loans. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first thing I want you to realize is I don't want you to ignore your student loan. So all too often I speak and I coach clients and I speak with people just in their everyday, and I get a lot of questions about financial situations. And one thing that has been glaring in a lot of those financial situations and been consistent is the fact that people have student loans. And it's really interesting that when you think about it, or watching people and how they compute things in their mind, it's okay that they see that the credit card was a bad decision. They do see that they may have taken on way too much car loan. So they might have $7,000 on the credit card, and they might have a $20 plus $1,000 car loan. But when you start looking at the student loan factor, a lot of people, especially when you get up over six figures, $150,000, $200,000 worth of student loans, then that's when something kind of emotional happens where the person just doesn't quite understand it, or they just don't want to deal with it, or it's just not something they are ready to emotionally accept and address. And that's what I want you to do is don't ignore the student loans. Don't put it on the back burner. Realize that that debt is not going to move until you face the fact that it's there. Yes, I, like many other people, I signed up for student loans. And yes, we all have to work to pay those things off. But a big piece of that is realizing that, hey, I'm going to pay it off. That's the fact. I'm going to actually pay it off. Now, the next thing I want you to understand is realize there's $3 trillion worth of student loans already borrowed right now. And it's said that the average student loan borrower has about $35,000 in student loans. Now, I think that's more of a section or pocket of people. And I'm very encouraged by those people who have those low amounts of student loans. But I see many people who make $70,000, $80,000, but they have $150,000 worth of student loans, $200,000 because they got a master's degree, or they switch fields, or whatever the case may be. But it's not the fact that they have that student loan debt. They might be a little bit older. They're 32, 33, and then their spouse has some student loan debt, or they have kids now, and so they have to pay for childcare. And so all of those things, when you look at it from your budget perspective, it starts to crunch down on you. And then you realize, oh man, I'll never get out. I'll never get any breathing room. Well, I want to encourage you that you still can get out, but the reality of the scenario is it may take longer. And that's the good thing about finance and personal finance and your budget and your money situation. All these things that you're doing and the decisions you make are only conducive to you. Yes, you can learn a lot from someone else's story, but the biggest thing you always have to realize is I didn't necessarily have the choices that that person had. These are things that they helped themselves, but even a lot of those people in those stories and of those success, one thing that's consistent is, hey, I realized I had this opportunity, and that's why they took it. So I want you to realize, if you're already in life, you're married and you have one or two kids and you have those expenses of child care, or you just have responsibilities maybe to your parents, or whatever the case may be, I want you to know you can actually get yourself out of student loan debt. And even if it's six figures, but it's not going to be a 2-year solution. It's not going to be a 3-year solution. And the reason why is because for that to happen, you have to have a dramatic increase in your income doing something, whether it's in the business or at work, However the case may be, something will have happened to make a dramatic change in your income, or you just get some sort of job where they're giving you some sort of benefit to pay off that student loan. So that's the reality is it may take longer than 3 years. It may take 4 or 5 years. And when you think about it taking longer than 3 years, that's when you start to realize, okay, I might be starting to have an issue with my retirement, or this is going to bleed over into how I'm going to pay off the house, or whatever the case may be. So this is very important, and it really takes me to my next point, that you have to realize, number one, how am I going to increase my total income? Now, I've seen a lot of success stories about how people paid off their debt, and I've talked to a lot of people who paid off student loans in multiple six figures. And in each one of those cases, they did something unique. Maybe I've seen some where they used real estate to pay it off. I've seen some where they had a business that took off. I've seen some where they just had a ridiculous income that they worked for and they cut down on their budget. But in each scenario, they had to sit down and devise a plan, and it did take longer than 3 years for them to do it. So I really want you to understand that you have to start looking at your full financial plan and say, hey, how much am I comfortable committing to retirement? How much am I comfortable committing to this mortgage? How much am I committing to paying off the student loans? And you have to have a specified amount, especially when it comes to the student loan, because that's the only way you're going to make progress. So if you can only do 15 grand a year, that'll tell you on $100,000, hey, it's going to take you about 8 to 10 years to do that. Well, if it's going to take you 8 to 10 years, will you still be in that house in 8 to 10 years? Are you planning to move? Well, if you're planning to move, maybe the house went up in value. Maybe that gives you more cash and that speeds up the plan. But the fact is, you have to devise a full financial plan to where you're hitting these goals and not losing ground. Because when you have a full financial plan, hey, maybe it's 8 years, but in that 8 years, if you paid off your student loans, if you grew your retirement and your investments, and if you put or eliminated your home in the process, would you not be more satisfied? Especially if you have another 10 to 15 years of working years going, because now you're maybe in the phase of life where you can really helping your kids get to college, or they're done with college, or they're self-sufficient, whatever the case may be. But the fact is, you have to devise that actual plan. The next thing, and realize you have to commit a specified dollar amount every year. I hope this is starting to kind of make a little bit more sense for you. The next thing I want you to realize is understand, the debt snowball does help you get through some of those student loans when you have multiple loans. But what if you have one big consolidated loan? How are you actually going to attack that? Well, you can kind of devise a plan, and that's what paying incremental amounts, so $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year, whatever the case may be that you decide on every year, that's kind of how you debt snowball your way through an actual large lump sum student loan. And you also have to start looking at, okay, is refinancing the best solution, or is it not the best solution? Because there are risks when you refinance. The biggest risk is, while you get the big advantage of the interest rate break, you lose the protection. So the protection of, like this current scenario that we're in, if you were actually unemployed or going through this scenario, you know you can put your student loans on pause, and that kind of helps your financial scenario. So when you refinance the student loans out, a big piece of that is you lose the protections of those federally insured student loans. And you have to weigh that cost benefit analysis. If you have a short time frame, short window, it's probably worth it. 2 years, maybe even 3. It's definitely probably worth it to refinance. But if you're past 3 years, well, then you kind of open yourself up. Maybe you do pay a year on it and get yourself in more a smaller time frame and then refinance. It's not saying you can't ever do it, but you want to be efficient, and you also want to be tactical to make sure you're limiting the risk of yourself. Make sure your plan is thought out, and it can evolve. Just because you start a plan one way doesn't mean things won't change that will allow you to progress further. But this is how you start your plan. The last thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to ever be discouraged. I don't want you to give up hope in the fact that you can get rid of this actual student loan. And to that end, I'm excited to announce that over the next few weeks, I will be sharing a lot of debt-free stories, and more consistently in those debt-free stories, you'll actually be seeing how these people paid off their student loans. But I want you to look at these stories as an example of what things that you can do, possibilities of things that you can change. But most importantly, if you get anything from it, understand that, hey, you can do it too. And the fact is, I want you to know that you can do it too, and I'm going to walk alongside you. I'm so encouraged about where you are right now, and I want you to be encouraged no matter how bleak and unknown it may look now. You are getting better, and it will get better. So I can't wait to share more of this information with you. I can't wait for you to hear these debt-free stories. And until next time, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.